Hello, math students. Welcome back to our module on percents and proportional relationships. This lesson is called Fluency with Percents, and our goal is today we will practice all the different strategies with percents. The question that I want you to be thinking about in this lesson is, what is the most important thing to do when working with percents? Okay, so when we take a look at it, it says things to remember. Basically, the way we're going to work on this little review is by practicing. So it says practice this. Corey and Yvette have collected model cars since they were in third grade. Corey has 80 model cars in his collection, which is 25% more than Everett has. How many model cars does Everett have? Okay, so first read, what I learned about this is Corey and Everett, having a model car collection. And then I also learned that Corey has more cars than Everett. And then I also learned that Corey has 25% more than Everett. So Everett must be the whole, and then Corey is the amount larger than the whole. Okay, so a percent increase. Basically now we've talked about all of it, so I'll go through and underline the quantities. Corey and Everett have collected model cars since third grade. Corey has 80 model cars. I wish I'd remember this yellow is dying. Darn it, because I really liked it. So let's try this color instead. Corey has 80 model cars in his collection, which is 25% more than Everett. Okay, so that's kind of important. I'm going to underline Everett too. How many model cars does Everett have? Okay, last time, Corey and Everett have collected model cars since the third grade. Corey has 80 model cars in his collection, which is 25% more than Everett has. How many model cars does Everett have? So we want to figure out how many model cars Everett has. All right, this part right here, the 25% more than, to me, that's really, really, really important, because what it's telling you is that what Everett has would be the whole, because 25% more than means that it has to be above the amount that Everett has. So that means that we have to go over 100%. So first thing we're supposed to do is it says identify the parts. So the quantity that I would say in this problem is 80, because that represents Corey. The percent is not just going to be 25%, because if it was just 25%, it would say, which is 25% of what Everett has. It doesn't say that. It says 25% more than Everett has. So this right here is not just 25%. It is what Everett has, okay? Everett has plus 25%, okay? And I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to show you, because of these words, 25% more than what Everett has. So you have to take Everett's numbers, right? What Everett has would be the 100%. Then you have to add 25% more than. So what this percentage over here should be, that equals the quantity, would be 125%. So that's the percent for this story. And then the whole is what Everett has. Well, we don't know what that is, and that's what we're supposed to do. So I'm going to say the variable for this one is Everett. Everett's total cars, okay? So that was kind of helpful to just have a talk about that and think about what was said in the story. Now it says make a modified double number line. Okay, we can do that. And then determine the percents. Okay, so the modified double number line, I'm counting by what looks like would be really easy is 25%. So I'm going to say this is 0%, this is 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%, and then 125%. Okay? And so then we could keep going. So this would be 150%, and this could be 175%. However, if you're looking up here, and it's okay that our tape went longer, we don't have to use the whole thing. I just drew a tape, and then you get to decide what you use. So, but up here, the only amount we need to know is 125%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what you are definitely allowed to do, we don't need anything further than 125%. So I'm just going to put a little squiggly line in a different color so you don't have to worry about those. Because according to this story, Corey has 80 model cars, which is 25% more than Everett. So this whole section from here to here equals Corey. And we already know what Corey has, which equals 80 cars. So this whole section from 0% to 125% is Corey. From here, right here to here represents Everett, okay, because he's at 100%. And then 100% plus the 25% more than gives us the 125%. I hope all of you guys are understanding what we did. So basically what we have to do is it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 sections, and that was 80 cars. So now I have to take 80 divided by 5, and 5 goes into 8 one time, and then 5 goes into 36 times. So now I know that in each section I need to write 16 cars. So 16 cars, 16 cars, 16 cars, 16 cars, 16 cars. So I know that 5 16 sections gives me 80, but in order to find Everett, I only need 4 of them. So what I'm going to do to find Everett is I'm going to take 16 times 4, because that would give me the Everett section, which Everett represents 100%, and I get 64. So now we know that Everett has 64 cars. Okay? So that wasn't so bad, was it? Pretty simple as long as you understand what the story is asking you to do. Underlining important phrases, talking about it, either with your table group or with yourself, whatever you have to do to understand what the story is telling you, that's what you need to do in order to have success with these with these problems that I'm giving you. So make sure that you are paying attention to what the story says. Make sure that you are lining up your percentages together with the correct information, using the modified double number line to help you, and you'll have success. So here's the last question that I have for you. Here's another. 75% of the students in Jessie's class are 60 inches or taller. If there are 20 students in her class, how many students are 60 inches or taller? So we're talking about a girl, and she's talking about her class, and she's talking about how tall they all are. So that's what the story's about. 75% of the students in Jessie's class are 60 inches or taller. If there are 20 students in her class, how many students are 60 inches or taller? Okay, so the important quantities that I see, it says 75% of the students in Jessie's class are 60 inches or taller. I am not going to underline that because we are not using that numerical value for anything in this problem. It's just a descriptor, and it's trying to confuse you. It's trying to throw you off. So we're being mindful of it, but it's not important to the actual mathematics of the problem. If there are 20 students in her class, here we go, 20 students in her class, how many of the students are 60 inches or taller? So we're trying to figure out what this percentage is representing. So again, what I've been teaching you to do forever, this right here is the percent, right? So we label everything. This right here is the whole, right? And then what is the piece that we're missing? We're missing the quantity, or we're missing the part. So what you need to find is part equals question mark. That's what we're looking for in this problem. Okay, so we can use a double number line to help us with this if we want. So remember, here's the number line. Okay, and if this is 0, and I look at my percentage, which is 75, so I'm going to go, this is 25, this is 50, this is 75, and this is 100. Okay, and then I'm using a tape, and the tape is going to be the same size as the number line, so 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, 4 sections. And now it says 75% of the students in Jessie's class are 60 inches or taller. So 75% of them. If we know if there are 20 students in her class, so that means all of the kids in her class. If there are 20 students in her class, well, this we already decided was the whole. So we know that this entire thing on our tape is 20 students, right? Because it says the total number of students in her class. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have to take 20 divided by 4, and we know that 20 divided by 4 is 5. So now I have to put 5 in each section of the tape. And now the question is asking, if 20 is 100%, what would 75% be? Go to 75% and count your numbers, 5, 10, 15. So 75% of the class is 15. So now we know that the part equals 15 students. And what else we know about those students is that those 15 students are 60 inches or taller. Okay? So, again, the use of the modified double number line came in handy. We used our 3-read strategy to identify all of that important information, and we were successful with solving some more problems on percents. Going back to our goal, today we will practice all the different strategies with percents. What is the most important thing to do when working with percents? Hands down, I think the most important thing to do when working with percents is label all your parts. Find the part, find the percent, find the whole, find the quantity, find the percent, find the whole, find the percent increase, find the percent decrease. Whatever you have to do, you've got to locate your quantities, you've got to label them, and then you have to use the tools that you know or that you're learning about to be able to solve the problem successfully. All right, kiddos, that's all I have for you in this lesson. Talk to you soon. Bye.